have done your techniques on your technique sheet, which looks somewhat like this, the next step is to get familiar with all of these techniques and practice with them more. So if you picked up supplies in the office, you should have a sheet of watercolor paper. It is thicker and it can absorb water a lot better and more. It can take a lot of beating to it than the drawing paper can. So make sure you have somewhat similar. So this kind of paper that's strictly watercolor paper, or a multimedia paper that you kind of get in a sketchbook, that will also work. So the first step we have to do to this is you're going to take some masking tape and we're going to tape our edges first. So I'm going to pull off a long strip. I'm then going to stick it to my pants where it can pick up some fuzzies so that this tape is not as sticky and will not rip my paper when I tear it off later. So I'm going to stick it to my pants. And then I'm going to take my piece and I can kind of see the paper through the tape so it's nice and even. And I'm going to smooth that down and do that to all four sides. So what this does is when we tear this off later, it has a nice clean edge to it. Makes it seem like whatever happens in here has a finish where it has a white edged border. Plus it leaves a spot for you to sign your name later in the bottom right corner. Next we're going to divide this up with tape and create sections with the tape. So this is about a 1-inch roll of masking tape, and it's hard to find 1/2-inch rolls, so this is a very thick piece. So I'm going to cut the strip in half a long ways where I can get skinnier lines and also thick lines. So before every time I put down a piece, I stick it to my pants or my clothes to pick up fuzzies, and then I put it down, and then I'm going to angle it every which way. If you do not have masking tape, you need some that's like it, such as painter's tape that could be lying around at home for when you paint walls. Other than that though, it's masking tape or painter's tape. Scotch tape and everything else would rip your paper if you used it. So stick with this stuff. It's about $1 at the dollar store. Okay, so once I have about 10 to 12 sections divided, that's about how many you should have. You can organize this in any way you want. I did a lot of angles, and you could do all straights if you want. It's all up to you. Once I have this, I'm going to start painting it using the techniques on this technique sheet. You're required to do a couple of things, and that is to use all of the techniques, not so much of the color mixing, but the techniques from here on up, as well as color overlap, straight color, and wet to wet blend. Okay, so not required to do the color mixing. I'm looking for all of these to be used, as well as the bottom part. The second thing is that I want you to mix techniques together. So that could mean you do a flat wash down first, you let it dry, and then on top of it, you could do a thin line, a dry brush, stippling, because all of these has lots of white space behind it, where a flat wash would fill in the space, and you can put those on top. Okay, so every space should be filled and painted, and then not a ton of white space, because all of these lines, this is called tape resist. It's another form of resist where we don't want the paint to go. These lines will stay white when we're all done. So when we're all done painting, we will then peel these off, and then we will be adding Sharpie on top. Okay, so one that I have been working on is one like this. So I did, this is wax resist, alcohol, more wax resist, but also a graduated wash from dark to light. I first did the wax, then I did a graduated wash on top. We've got the plastic wrap happening. This can come off and let the magic show. Other things you can try is you can do a flat wash, but wherever you put water is where the paint will go. So I did a swiggle of water line, and then I dropped a color inside of it, and it bled only where the water went. So keep that in mind. Wherever there is water, the paint will flow. Okay, so use all the techniques again, get comfortable with them, try the ones more times that you struggled with, that didn't work out on your technique sheet, and then combine them together. Okay, and I will show pictures following this of what each step looks like, including the final with the Sharpie.